I feel like spending more money on clothes has just become normal. Now it just feels like brands are pushing the limit to see how much we're actually willing to spend on these pieces. It seems like you have to reach at least that average threshold to meet the quality benchmark. And the crazy part is we really don't question this. We see the higher price tag and think this is just what it takes to get into higher quality clothing. And often it is the case. Most of the time, if you want the higher quality items, you have to invest a bit more money if you want those better materials. But other times, the materials don't justify the cost at all. And so this really left me thinking, is clothing getting better, or are we just getting tricked into spending more money? So today I wanted to break down how spending more money on clothing has started to feel normal and whether or not it's actually worth it. So it's no telling that this question is the result of so many different variables. It's a big topic to break down. It could be inflation, maybe our buying power has increased, or maybe it's just the results of luxury brands raising their prices. I think the biggest contributor here is luxury brands. When you see brands like Louis Vuitton, Saint Laurent, Prada raising their prices every year, the cost tends to trickle down. What they do, the market follows. In a way, it's sort of genius, especially from the perspective of another brand. You gotta look at the brands that sit right underneath them. They follow the market and make sure that their products don't look cheap in comparison. And so partially, that's where the price increase comes from. Now, I do understand that this isn't always true because there are some brands that are genuinely making high quality pieces and that the price assigned to them is 100% justified based on their materials. But have you ever took a second to look at the description of the materials that they're using? Because I know I have, and I've thought to myself, how are they getting away with making people spend this much money? And they're using polyester. But it's safe to say that we've reached a point where brands aren't dictating their prices based off of the cost to make. Instead, they're making that decision based off of their perceived value. So needless to say, more often than not, the materials aren't getting better, but they're just positioning themselves in the market to seem more premium. And we haven't forgot about you, hypebeast culture, because you are also part of the reason why we're in this position. Now, I don't want to directly say that this is your fault, but the reselling game definitely shaped the pricing landscape. I mean, we remember how much people were spending on Jordan 1s. It was absolutely outrageous. It's safe to say that the hypebeast culture made it easier for these luxury brands to justify their price increases, but I do understand that the reselling game most definitely benefited the seller more than it did the brand, but you can't help but think that these increase in prices had something to do with that. Although brands aren't profiting on the resale cost, it is definitely conditioning us to expect extreme prices. And I don't mean for this to sound like a rant, but I'm genuinely thinking, why is it that when I'm browsing online and looking for clothing, a $300 sweater just looks normal? It's almost like we've become desensitized to it. It's just wild to me that a $300 sweater could be seen as priced just right when it comes to the premium line of products. Whereas you look at the $150 sweater or even the $90 sweater and think, hey, this is a bargain. This is definitely a good deal. And along with this, we've also been sold a certain image or a feeling of what it would be like to partake and own some of these brands. Not only does it feel like you have to spend more money to reach that premium line of products, but at the same time, we're also being sold an image, a certain vibe, a certain feeling, like what it would feel like to own that beautiful ALD Porsche jacket. I know I've pictured myself wearing this jacket, thinking about how much better I would look, how much this would elevate my style, but the truth is, that isn't the case. Everything about this brand screams cool guy streetwear, and I understand because I fell into that same trap. When you're in the fashion landscape, you understand what it costs to enter these brands. So in a way, are we really selling style or are we selling status? What you're really buying is a $195 shirt with a logo on it. I mean, think about that for a second. Is that really going to elevate your style? How much better can this $195 shirt make you dress? Now, that's a thought process that I just can't wrap my head around. I mean, I seriously do feel bad for kids these days because in what world in middle school and high school do you need chrome heart jeans to be perceived as well-dressed? I really couldn't imagine what it takes these days to be the best dressed, especially in a school environment. And I do think that when we see all these price hikes and all this expensive clothing, we think it has no effect on us, but in reality, it is affecting those who are looking to get into fashion. They automatically assume that, hey, this is what it takes to Be the best dressed. I feel like every time I say a statement, I need to follow up with a quick disclaimer because I'm not 100% anti-luxury brands. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. What I'm saying is that you don't need to spend $600, $700, $800 to be the best dressed. As a matter of fact, I'm saying opposite of that. I'm saying that no matter your budget, there is an opportunity for you to dress well. And I don't want you to look at these brands and think, this is what I need to spend to look right. Because I made that mistake years ago. I thought that you needed to have the unlimited budget. I thought you needed to have the $500, $600 shoes to look and dress well. You don't need to go broke to dress well. You just need to understand what styles work best for you, how to find them, and what materials are worth investing. But for those who are starting their fashion journey, please understand you don't need those pieces to make you more stylish. And that $600 jacket isn't magically going to make you the best dressed person in the room. Find your style first, and then eventually you'll get to a point where it doesn't matter where you shop because you have the eye to pull it off. So now we get to this point where we understand it costs a lot of money to enter this fashion landscape, but the question is, what do we do about it now? Is there a solution? Is it even possible to dress well without spending a fortune? The answer is yes, but it definitely takes a lot more effort. And if you've watched any of my videos, you would understand how much I love thrifting. The reason why I do enjoy thrifting is you can find those higher quality pieces at a discounted price because you actually have to put in that time to look for the right things. It's easier to find the wool overcoat. It's easier to find the 100% cotton tee without having to spend $200, $300, $400. In my opinion, if you're looking for outerwear, this is 100% the way you need to go. But with that, everything does come with moderation. I know I'm guilty of hoarding too many clothes, thrifting too often, buying things I don't need. So it's important to be conscious of what you're buying. Try to have some intentionality. Instead of just going out thrifting, hoping to run into something, maybe think to yourself, what is it that I can get today that can complete my wardrobe? Try to go into it with a plan in mind. I know that this thought process has saved me so much time and money because instead of going into the thrift and purchasing anything I set my eyes on, I'm actually going in with a plan and only purchasing what I absolutely need. So thrifting can offset the need to purchase these luxury brands because now you're searching for the material, the fit, you're looking for that perfect one-of-one piece. So in the past, I have harped about the environmental impact of fast fashion and how the materials aren't worth it and how it's important to invest in those higher quality pieces, but sometimes you just have to be realistic. And if we take a second to be realistic about this, not everybody has the budget to invest in those higher quality pieces. And that's where fast fashion is golden. Can you really knock someone for trying to dress their best and presenting themselves in the best way possible? It's really hard to look down on that. So I do think it's important to go through those levels of the fashion tiers where you're really just trying to understand how you should dress when you're shopping at Boohoo Man, when you're shopping at H&M, maybe even Forever 21. That stage for me was 100% a humbling experience, but it was also an important one. We could call that a character arc. As a matter of fact, I think that starting at the fast fashion brands is almost a fundamental piece of finding your style. If I didn't start there, I feel like I would have never discovered how I wanted to dress today. I really hope that this video didn't seem like a big rant because I'm just genuinely curious, why is it that we're so used to seeing these expensive pieces? But the great thing is that you don't have to spend that kind of money to look put together. Thrifting is my favorite way to do it, and if you're looking to get started, fast fashion is the lowest costing and easiest way to get started. So are these prices justified, or are we all just getting played? Feel free to drop a comment below. I would love to hear what you guys think. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope to see you on the next one.